family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got all my brothers and sisters with me. I said, we are family. Woo. Get up, everybody, and sing. Yeah, we are indeed family, right? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All one big family of humanity. Now, right on the old guitar, it says it right there. That's what our job is, folks. Illuminate. Illuminate, illuminate. Let your love light shine. Let your light shine bright. And illuminate the darkness. That's what I'm talking about. Anyhow, today is a very special day. Besides being New Year's and the calendar, January 1st. Happy New Year to everybody. Wishing everybody a happy, healthy, sweet, amazing New Year. It's got to get better, right? We got to get better than this previous one. Although there was a lot of really, actually good things to be had from it. We got to think positive, right? Because life is good. We want to be positive state champions. This is Dr. Laz 613 coming at you from MIA. That's in the 305. Hope you're all doing super well. And New Year's is treating you. You're off to a good start. Remember to make those New Year's resolutions. It's a great concept. People ask me what my resolution is, and I usually tell them my resolution is to keep the resolutions that I made in previous years. I'm going to try to do that, okay? But it's just interesting that the resolutions are specifically involved with this idea of what can we do to better ourselves? How can we grow? I want to dedicate this particular gathering together and sharing of some ideas together to my father of blessed memory, passed away several years ago, and on this date on the Hebrew calendar, the 17th of the month of Teves, or Tevet, and today is actually his yahrzeit. That means the yearly date that honors his passing. So I'm dedicating this particular get-together to share some ideas to my my wonderful father, who was the greatest dad anybody could have. I know many kids feel that way, which is wonderful, and we should feel that way, that our dads are number one and our moms are number one. We should feel that way. And so I'm happy that you do. But he was totally the coolest of the coolest. Just a wonderful upbringing for me and my sisters. I have 4 sisters, by the way, so know a little bit about big families, and it was a true blessing. You know, we grew up in a time when kids weren't indoors like they are today, playing on their computers and cell phones and social media, and you know, people can have a zillion friends on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and not know one of them well, and not one of them will know them well either. And so, quote unquote, friends on Facebook. You usually only have a couple good friends throughout life. If you're lucky, you have, you know, 1. If you're really lucky, you have 2. And if you're really lucky, you have even more than that. But it's usually not so many, certainly not as many as your quote unquote friends on Facebook. You know, some people will tell me, oh, wow, I got 5,000 friends. Oh, really? And how many of them could you turn to if you're in a bad way, or if you need money? How many of them are going to lend you money? You know, put your money where your mouth is. Or not even lend you money, just give you. There may be some, but it's usually not the case. It's usually pretty superficial. But yeah, we used to play outdoors. We used to play outdoors as kids till it got dark. Hide and go seek, kick the can. None of us were overweight because we were outdoors playing the whole time. Get home after school, you'd walk to school, you'd walk home, and you just play outdoors the whole time with your friends. And it was amazing. We drank water from the tap. Nobody got sick from it as far as I know, at least nothing serious. Different times. And the only time I actually saw that happen down here, where all of a sudden it reminded me of how I grew up, was after the hurricanes. When the lights went out and there was no power, suddenly people had no AC, they had no fans going, the refrigeration was kaput. And you know what they were doing? They were barbecuing outside, and they were suddenly all these people outside playing catch, throwing a ball around, running around, riding their bikes more, neighbors talking to neighbors, and it took the hurricane to do it. Right? So there was a silver lining there. Just like this past year, there's been a silver lining. So I wanted just to share with you just a couple quick insights into this week's Torah portion, which is Vayechi, which means he lived, Vayechi Yaakov, and Jacob lived. Jacob lived in the land of Egypt, and our commentaries say that, what does it mean he lived? That he lived fully. He lived like his best years. He was happy. They were together. All the family was reunited. And most importantly, not just they were there, but all the siblings got along. So I can tell you as a parent, I know the greatest joy is when your kids get along with each other, support each other, show love for each other. That's a tremendous joy. In Hebrew, the word is nachat, or nachas, in more like a Yiddish way of saying it. And it means just having great joy, satisfaction from something. And it's just an amazing feeling when all your kids get along and support each other and love each other, and there's a unified front there. And so it says that this week's Torah portion is where Jacob lived. The sages asked the question, how could he? What do you mean he lived his best years in Egypt? How is that even possible? How does that even make sense? He lived his best years in Egypt. It says that Egypt at that time had so much like idol worship, black magic, all these kind of funky things. Yes, it was the most advanced society. On the other hand, it was a society that also had all sorts of gods, big gods, little gods, and people worshiped the Nile, they worshiped the alligator, the crocodile, so it was like these sort of quote-unquote foreign gods, if you will. And so how is it possible he could live his best years in such an environment, such a kind of crazy environment? So the answer is that the family was not just together, but that they were unified. There was no animosity, there was no jealousy, there was no hatred. And we know from previous stories in the Torah that, look at, Cain and Abel, Cain and Hevel, they, one kills the other. You have fratricide, one brother kills the other. Great, that's real brotherhood. And then you goes to other stories of other brothers, Jacob and Esav, and there was all this friction between them, and Jacob was worried Esau was going to kill him, and so there was that friction, and there's Isaac and Ishmael, and so finally we get to, and then there's the sons actually of Noah, where one son does something pretty bad to the father. So it's sort of like the Torah is telling us, like, what is family? Let's first see some of the negative things. It took a while for families to get it together, to finally Jacob's last 17 years, where the family is actually together, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically. They were there for each other. And for a parent, that is one's greatest joy. And for a sibling, that's when you really feel like, oh wow, my brother's got my back, my sister's got my back, I got my brother's back, I got my sister's back. We're there for each other. Now, if you would realize that we're all just one family anyhow of humanity, we would be there for each other and support each other. We got each other's backs. But let's hope that this will be a year where, certainly this past year, we should have learned the lesson that we're all in this together. This teeny little virus that is not seen to the naked eye was able to demonstrate to humanity that we are all one, whether we like it or not. We're all affected by the same thing on planet Earth. So hopefully we're going to get our act together, bring some peace and love to the world, illuminate the world. Last thing I just wanted to mention, it's appropriate for a yard site for my father's passing. I just wanted to mention this, that there's this expression, even when people get married, there's some people have the expression to say, to death do us part. But don't work that way. The soul lives forever. So your one can be together in this physical world and then again in the spiritual world. Just our limited eyes don't really see. And then there's another expression that always bugged me. After somebody passes, people will say, with respect, oh, may he rest in peace, may she rest in peace, whatever. This idea of rest in peace. But the Torah says there's no such thing, even after one leaves this world, there's no such concept of just resting in peace. There's a continual process of growth. And we might not understand it. We might not see it with our limited eyes. But the Torah tells us that one keeps going from level to level and growing from level to level. So there's always this concept of movement, of growth, of doing better, even after one leaves this physical world, or I should say one's soul leaves one's physical body. So, and the reason why I mention that in connection with this Torah portion is that very often the Torah will describe somebody's passing and it will use the words vayamas, and he died. Vayamas, he died. By Jacob it says Vayasef Vayigva Vayasef El Amav, and he was gathered unto his people. Okay? It doesn't use the expression, there's no word that says he died. And so, very fascinating that the Torah then goes on to say that Yaakov Avinu lo mes, that Jacob our father did not die. That even this, what we call death, somehow, in some way, he didn't die. And because the Torah doesn't even use that. It just says he was gathered unto his people. So, just want to give everybody some strength. Probably most of us have what we think are lost loved ones, but they're not really lost. Maybe we feel lost without them, but they're not lost. They, the soul is alive forever and ever, and thus our loved ones who have gone into the next phase of their life are always with us. So I think we have to end with this great kind of really upbeat, kind of a cute Beatles song. It was in the movie Yellow Submarine, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I have a little more? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I love you. All together now, 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 all together now. Let's go. All together now, all together now, all together now. It's not done yet. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah. All right. All together now, mates. Remember to keep it positive. Be a positive state champion. Yeah. All right. I wish you all Shabbat Shalom. Have a great weekend. Happy New Year. A New Year filled with good health, sweet blessings, success, love, joy. Remember to turn on your love light. Turn on your light. Share your light. Peace out, y'all. One love.